Frodo, Luna, and I are heading out on the Iron Goat Trail. I've done this one before, but I think the last time I did this, it was in a storm, and it is now a beautiful, sunny fall day. I'm hoping to see a marmot or a pika, although I've not seen very many of these on this trail before, but it's beautiful. Look at that. Fall colors already. This trail is a loop. Don't worry, it's not all paved. About 6 miles, made up of the lower grade and the upper grade. I like to hike it counterclockwise and come down the steeper switchbacks rather than climbing up them. But you can hike it either way. If you have bad knees, you might want to do it switchbacks up. This trail is known for its railroad history. There are some tunnels still here we can check out. And this plus Wellington, which is just a little bit further east, is known for one of the worst railway disasters where there was an avalanche. Trains were snowed in, and I think 1 or 2 of the trains got knocked off. We're up to the first snow shed. This held up a wooden roof that was supposed to keep the snow off the track, since this was great slope where avalanches were likely. I don't think I've ever seen this dry. Usually there's water just oozing down it and filling this little gutter here. Light's not great, but you can see across the way probably that there's a railroad track on the other side of the highway, and that railroad is still in use. I'm just 1.25 miles in, and here is the first of the tunnels. You can see through this tunnel another tunnel that's much more dilapidated. This tunnel was built in 1916. I'm gonna walk into it, and then the trail continues to the left. Extreme hazard. Yeah, we're not going to go over in that one. Here's a picture of the tunnels from back in the day. There's no building outside anymore. They were made by blasting through solid granite, and because granite cracks easily when it's thawed and freezing, they made a timber lining. And these 2 tunnels together were over 2,000 feet. I think we're on the other end of those tunnels now. You can see some of the timbers they used to line the granite. It's just granite right now. You can see all the rock on the floor that's fallen. This was also a snow shed, but it was an all wood snow shed. And it looks like there's a collapsed tunnel there as well, but I bet it is too. I bet there was another tunnel there that's completely collapsed, because it said this snow shed was to protect between 2 tunnels, so there's another. We're on this beautiful big bridge. At 1.5 miles in. I am 1.64 miles in. Oh, I should look at this shows an adit that they put in to reach the tunnel. And the cool thing about this is if you walk over here, the air blowing out of it is like an air conditioner. What do you think, guys? We get to go through this one. Can you hear the train? It's on the other side of the valley, but it's kind of echoing in the rocks here. It's almost like a ghost train, knowing that this was an old railway that you wouldn't hear a train on anymore. Kind of cool. I am at 2.35 miles and I have reached the junction for the upper grade. I'm actually not sure how far this lower grade trail keeps going, but we are going to go on this Coria crossover to the upper grade. This semi-flat area right here, and you can tell by the size of the trees how long ago this was actually a tent camp for construction crews that were working on the Great Northern Line here. I am at 2 3/4 mile, and this is the upper grade. But we are going to go to the right to complete our loop. I think this is a couple of railway spikes. Pretty cool. There's some rusty metal in here from the railroad days. There's some more up there. There's some more. That's actually metal and not a rock right there. It's a busy day for trains over there. Now I'm on the upper grade still. Goes up the hill, and there's a whole big sheet of it up there. Rusted metal. We've come a total of 3.66 miles, and we are just coming up on the snow shed on the upper grade. Oh. Okay. Some thistles in here. This is usually this huge waterfall that's just shooting out over the side. It's just a trickle right now. I think this is called lamb's ear. I don't know if you can see it. It's really, really fuzzy. Going through some spent fireweed here. It's so tall. It's little fireweed fluffs everywhere. We are at 3.78 miles, and we are going to take the spillway spur. So we're going to go up this little side trail to the top of that snow shed. It goes to an old water reservoir and timber spillway at the foot of a ravine below the Windy Mountain. The reservoir and spillway were built in 1910 as part of like a fire suppression system for the railway. So they would have water available if they needed it to put out fires. Let's look over carefully. It's a long ways down. There's the trail. As you can see, this is a very brushy trail. It's also a damp area, so just beware. There are devil's clubs here. And I've also seen a lot of thistles. There's a thistle right here. We're slowly making our way up this little ravine to the spillway. It's a lot brushier than when I was here before. There's some fall color up there. We found it. This can be really slippery where the water's coming down. We're gonna just go up and find a dry spot in this wood and have a seat and have our lunch. Thanks, Frodo. Duly noted. I am not going to try to get up and look over this concrete reservoir because it is really, really brushy. I don't think there's a way around it I can see right now. But this is the wall of it. And then the water just trickles down and then over this and under this wooden spillway. We're going to get the pack back on and head out. There's another snow shed. We're at 4.17 miles in. We're going to go out on this little promontory over here. Can't see it through the fireweed. A big pile of rocks. And I don't know if there's pikas in these rocks, but we're going to take a look because it can't hurt to look. The dogs actually like to look as well when there's places to see things. Right across from all that rock is probably where that rock came from because there is a tunnel here. So they would have carved through this granite. The other end is blocked, or it's blocked in the middle. You can't see really a lot of light through. 4.37 miles, and here's the other end of that tunnel that we just looked at that was collapsed in the middle. It's pretty close to this end that it was collapsed. There's another snow shed through the brush here, and we're walking on the top of a structure as well. It's kind of fun to have this view of the hills around us now that we're higher up. More snow shed. Some of it has now fallen in this area. This is a steep slope built up with rock, and I think this rock used to cross all the way through and there was a hole. This is where I remember. I think that this has finally fallen since the last time I was here. Look at that beautiful valley. Really opened up here. It's a nice view, except for that. September, but there's already fresh new fall leaves collecting on the ground. 4.88 miles in, and we are under another snow shed and walking over the lower one. It looks like either that or this was just like a foundation for the roofing structure that came from the snow shed down to shed the snow off. Some pretty vine maple here. Boy, that snow shed just almost obscured by these big boulders here that rolled down the side of it and smashed the top off. You can see how it's just like pulverized at the top. Another snow shed. I keep thinking we're gonna see those switchbacks going down again, but we haven't got there yet. There's another tunnel up ahead too. There's a sign in this one, but the trail goes around the outside. We'll go in and check it out. This is the Windy Point Tunnel. There was a dangerous area of the railroad where it came out around a point. So after 1913, when this was built, the trains didn't have to be sticking out over the cliff. And this tunnel is over 1,200 feet long. On the outside of that tunnel at 5.28 miles, we are at our crossover trail that goes back down to our parking lot. So, and you can keep going this way. On this upper grade, this goes to Wellington in 3 miles, which I've actually never done, but I would like to sometime. It's a bit long to add, 3 miles to 6 miles round trip for the dogs, so that's too much for them. But one of these days I'll come up here and just hike the whole thing. So you can see that this is a lot of steep switchbacks. And we're going down right alongside of a avalanche slope. .58 miles. Still working our way down these switchbacks. Still working our way down this steep incline on switchbacks. I've seen a lot of pika sign on this trail, and I've heard a lot of them, but I haven't seen a single one. We're still going down in elevation, but I can tell by the sound of the highway that we are getting really close to the parking lot. 6.25. We're back at the junction. We've completed our loop, and now we just need to go through these couple of trees here. We're back at the parking lot. We did a total of 6.36 miles with that spillway spur added to the loop, and we did 767 feet of elevation gain. It was a gorgeous day for a hike, a little on the warm side, but it could have been a lot hotter. This is one of our old favorites, and thanks for joining along.